We had been living in Emerald Isle. We moved from Chicago. We were living right on the beach, and it was really an amazing place to live. But as our family started to grow, we quickly outgrew the space. Our best friend, Brooke, was a real estate agent at the time and said, I think I have the perfect place for you and your family. And so she dragged us out to Cannonsgate. We were unsure. I think online it always looks different than when you actually come in person. And when we did, it was pretty much love at first sight. Our daughter's eyes lit up when she saw the park. And then for us, that was okay, we're 90% of the way there.
Number one, the architecture, but then just the feel of the community. You have the coastal living, and then you've got families walking around. It felt like somewhere that we immediately could see growing up, raising a family, and really kind of enjoying day-to-day life in the community.
I always said, if you're going to take me out of the beachfront condo, it better be for something good, and this has been something great. So we're super happy with the choice.
No, we were actually looking to buy. It was going to be our first home purchase. So we were like, okay, this has got to be something that we're thinking about 15 plus years.
So when we were looking around, she took us to our first house, and it was a streamlined spec home. We both walked in, and we don't agree on much, but we were both looked at each other with the biggest smiles, and we're like, is this our future home? And then immediately I started to say, well, I think I would kind of change this, and I would change this, and I would change this, and then it would be perfect. So John had contacted Bryn right away, and she was just the most lovely person to work with. She asked us really thoughtful questions about things that we liked about the home and what we didn't like, and immediately offered us an opportunity to build our own home. She connected us to the architect for the house, and he worked with us. He was fantastic. And immediately, once we had our dream on a piece of paper, we started to then re-engage with Bryn in the process to understand what it would all take to build the house. I think it was very quick to make the decision to choose Streamline from there.
The transparency, quick to answer whatever questions we had, very personable, friendly. It was easy to talk to, and we knew nothing about the process. And we didn't feel ashamed to ask any questions, and they let us know exactly what we needed to know. Help build confidence in the builder too.
I think there's a lot of stigma about building a house. There's so many choices to be made and things, but when you have somebody that on your team that walk hand in hand with you every step of the process, just from the imagining phase, it just makes it so enjoyable, right? Because again, it can be so intimidating, but when you have someone saying, it's just baby steps, we'll take this baby step and this baby step until you're walking into your house, it makes the world of it different. I think we really appreciated was that there was never a silly question. Any question that we had about very welcoming, warm environment, and we knew right away that Streamline would be a great real builder for us.
That was fun because obviously we had our daughter, and she was 2.5 at the time. She got to come see the whole process as they're building it out. We come almost weekly, check it out, take her around the neighborhood. And the cool part was going around the neighborhood during the building process. We got to meet other families with other kids. And so she started to develop friends in the neighborhood before we even had a house built.
And so I was pregnant the entire duration of the home building process. And as my belly grew with the new life that we were bringing in this world, our house was growing. Here we are, and it just happened. So it was so fun. And I think also when you're building a home, there's so many choices to be made. And what we loved about working with Streamline was changing our minds sometimes, right? Some things that you envision that you always wanted, once it starts to become a reality, just look a little bit different. And that was always okay.
I think they definitely should consider exploring it. First off, it's the coastal living. It's got an amazing feel to it, a vibe, a family-friendly vibe. A lot of younger families moving in. One thing that was interesting was when we first moved in, within the first week, we had 8 different families come and bring us cookies and greet us and welcome us to the neighborhood, which I'd never experienced before. Neither of us had, so that was really a good welcoming moment into the type of community and people that live here.
I think if I would run into somebody, I would tell them not to hesitate. There is just so much to love about this community, and every day I swear we fall more in love with it. And it's also so important, especially if they're considering building, definitely go with somebody who's built in the neighborhood before. When you drive around, when you appreciate the architecture, there's also a lot of rules and regulations that go around to make sure that it looks the way it does, and we appreciate that about the community. But working with an experienced builder who is familiar with the process, who knows how to work with the guidelines and can guide you as a home builder in this community is everything, and it will make your experience so much better. And that's why I'm so glad we chose Streamline, because we experienced that ourselves, is making sure that our dream home fit the neighborhood.
A lot less stressful.
Yep.
Almost like a sense of pride too. You know, we're building a home. Streamline was building it, but it also made us feel like we were building it together because of the communication. Again, going every day to see the process and going through even the video chats, the meetings to see. It was like bi-weekly meeting, and everything was prepped and planned and had answered all the questions, went through the entire process together. It was a fun experience.
When you think about why we chose Streamline, why we're grateful we chose Streamline, you know, Colin especially, he feels like an extended member of our family. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy to say, but when you're working with somebody who you can see loves this house as much as you do, it felt like our home moment, you know? And I swear if he walks in at any time, I would never even question it. Like, this is his home as much as it is ours. Same with Danielle. Everything that we see today and how this all came together, working with her and her vision.
Monica and Danielle had like the same interior design style, so that helped out a lot too.
Yeah, it was just amazing. So I think that there's a lot to be said about working with somebody like that.